Hi everybody, it's Dee Slater with Create with Dee. Welcome to my channel and today's video class. I hope you're having a great day. As always, as you come on, whether you're watching live or you're watching the replay, let me know where you're watching from. I live in Kendallville, Indiana, which is Northeast Indiana, north of Fort Wayne, Indiana. If you, again, if you want to, please say hi and comment on where you're from. I'm so excited about today's video class. I've got a fun fold that's a little unique, at least unique to me. I don't believe I've ever made this before seeing this. So I do want to give a shout out to Patty Doolin. So thanks, Patty, for your great video and inspiration on this card. So as people are getting notifications that I'm going live, I thought I just would go ahead and do just a little housekeeping or a little announcements, I should say. I have several classes coming up in April, but if you want an at-home kit, that make sure that you're on my newsletter and or following me on my Create with Dee Facebook page. I have announcements there when I have classes. I've got a big class coming up that's free for everybody to watch on my Facebook page. Again, it's Create with Dee, and you can click on my events tab and then sign up going or interested. It's going to be April 12th. So again, it's going to be free to watch. And if you're interested in a kit to go, you can get information there on it. Okay, let's see here. I think that's about all of my announcements that I wanted to have. I hope that everybody's having a great week and everything. So let's just get started. See if the people are coming on board. So hi, everybody. And I'll turn the camera around and we'll get started making this really cute and I think easy fun fold. Get this. Oops, don't want that. Hang on just a second. Click the wrong tab here. There we go. Okay, so today's card is what is called an envelope flap front fun fold. So you have a little tuck element, and when you open it up, you've got this. So it's a really cute fun fold. And I think that you're really going to see how simple it is to make. And then don't let me forget, I've got several samples to show of other designer paper. Okay, so what I wanted to also kind of share today is that maybe you've gotten, if you follow myself or other demonstrators, maybe you've signed up for a paper share before. And so like, for example, you might have received something like this Friends of the Ocean that we're going to use here today, only that you don't have necessarily the matching motif stamp set. So I'm going to show you how you can take any stamp set in your collection and maybe even invest if you don't already have like a very broad and overarching stamp set so that you can use it on these paper shares and other mix match designer papers that you may have, but you don't have the exact motif to go along with it. So let me get that out of the road. All right, so oops. Today, what we're going to make, again, is this envelope front fold. And you can take a screenshot of this for the measurements if you want. But we're going to start with a cardstock layers. The base is going to be 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And we'll talk about these other ones along the way. But if you want to take a screenshot on this right now, you can do so. Okay, let's go ahead and we'll get making this. All right, so I'm using for my card base, this again is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. It's going to be Calypso Coral. You can also use Summer Splash, whichever one. It's so close because you got both of those tones in there. For the second layer of our card today, I've got Melon Mamba, and it's 4 by 10 1/2. And we're going to do some scoring on that. For the side panels, we're going to need 2 pieces of designer paper cut at 3 3/4 by 2 3/8, a 3 3/4 by 5 for the inside, and then some. I'm using the stylish shapes, a couple of things for our catch for our envelope. And then also we're going to need designer paper for the envelope flap. And this is 5 1/4 by 5. Okay, let's do some scoring on here. And I'm going to go ahead and use my Simply Scored for that. And let me get this in. So scooch this out of the road. So along the 5-inch side, what we want to do on the designer paper is score it at 4 inches. All right. And I'm also going to show you at the end of the video, if your paper has direction, how you want to score that. But that's the first thing. So again, along the 5-inch side, we're going to score it at 4. And then we're going to take our 4, there went some of it flying, our 4 by 10 1/2, and we're going to score it at 2 5/8. So on your Simply Scored, that's the 5/8 is here's 2 1/2 and go up 1 notch, and that's our 2 5/8. And then we're going to go 7 7/8. So that's the hash mark that's right before the 8, and we're scoring that. Another way to think of it is that if you want to score it at 2 5/8 from both ends. And you can do that with your trimmer as well, if you like. Okay, I'm going to move this off to the side. Okay, let's go ahead and do some other marks. We've got to make our envelope. And the way that we want to do that, I'm going to go ahead and use my trimmer. Let me get a pencil real quick. So here's where we've scored it at 1 inch. And what I want to do is put this up on my trimmer, and I'm going to get it over to that 2 5/8 mark. The 5/8 on the trimmer is here's 2 1/2, and then count 2 little hash marks. Okay, so I'm going to do this on the back side because I want the little the stars on the front. So 2 5/8, because that's going to be halfway between the 4 or the 5 and a 4th side. So I'm going to take my pencil mark, and I'm going to make a mark here on the track. And then also here where the score line is, I'm going to make a pencil mark here so that we can see it right on the score line on both sides. These are going to be our cut guides so we can see it. All right, so let me just show you that. So this is halfway here is 2 5/8. So I made a little mark on here with pencil. So if you want, you can erase it later on. And then just so I can see it better on the trimmer, I put a little pencil mark here where the score line on either side. So here's where we get our envelope, the pointy part of our envelope. On our track of our trimmer, we're going to line up the dots. So here's where the score line is at. Whoops, let me get this up here so we can see it. So here's the score line. And then here's the halfway point on the 5 1/4 side. And I'll line that up on the track and cut. You can save this nice triangle piece for something else in the future if you want. Now we're going to do it on the other side as well. So we're going to line up the point or our little tick mark there with the pencil, and the other side. Put that down. You can move it a little bit if you want to line it back up, and then cut. So when we're done, we almost get like this banner look here. Hi, Sharon. How are you? Thanks for saying hi. Sharon found me at Onstage, that's Stampin' Up's convention, and she gave me the most beautiful card, and I shared it on my Facebook page, and everybody was loving it. So thank you, Sharon. Okay, so we have all of the components except for the one that fell on the floor for me. Let me grab those real quick. Okay, let's go ahead and we'll get this put together. All right, so here's our, what I like to do is do the fun fold insert, like layer 2 first. And so we're going to go ahead and fold that in. So this is basically a gatefold. Alrighty, so I'm going to go ahead and get that burnished really well. Okay. Now here's our, here's the top part of our envelope. What we want to do first is we're going to put that right in the back of here. Okay, so it's going to look like this. So that's why we wanted to have our 1-inch score line on the back, because that's going to allow us to adhere it together on that. All right, so that's what I like to do first. And so I'm going to get my liquid glue. And if you want at this point, you know, you can take your eraser and get those, whoops, don't want to erase my point off. I made it pretty dark so that we could see it. Let me just put that up. Okay, back to the project. Let's go ahead and we'll glue this down. Put a little liquid glue. That way I can kind of move it around a little bit. I have a little play using the liquid glue first on it. And you can go ahead and close this if you like. And we're going to put that all the way up here to the score line. You see how that moved around on me? That's why I liked it. And then also, while I have that little play, I like to make sure that the point lines up on the seam of our gatefold that we made. And then if you had anything that overhangs, sometimes, you know, I don't cut just exactly right or am I a little off, you can always trim this here before we put it down. That's really the whole hard part. If you can do that with a couple of cuts, you can make so many of these really fast. Okay, so now this is going to go on a typical card size for the US, you know, where typically our card base is a 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So that's why we have that. And we're going to put this whole thing right on here. All right, so I'm going to turn this over and put liquid glue. You can use whatever adhesive of choice. If you like to use, oops, you know, the tape runners, you know, you can do that. I'm just a liquid liquid glue girl. And we'll put that on here. So let me get that. So again, I can kind of even up the edges. Okay, so that looks really good. So again, this was Melon Mamba, and I use Coastal Cabana, but you could also use Summer Splash. And now we're going to get our little side panels here. So again, this is all from Friends of the Ocean. I don't have the bundle that goes along with this, but I so wanted to use this paper. And so, you know, I think it's summery and everything else. So I'll show you again coming up the stamp set that I used. Again, these two panels are 2 3/8 by 3 3/4. And I'm going to put those on our side panels. And then we're going to do some stamping. Okay, get those down. And do this other one. So if you want, you can stick around to the end, and I'll show you some other examples of some of the other designer paper. And later on today, I'm going to even try some more because I just absolutely love this fun fold. Okay, so now we have that. Look how cute that is in summary. Love it. You might find that because this is going over several layers of cardstock, you know, you might want to go ahead and take your bone folder and carefully kind of train that to go down even further. Okay, it's going to pop up. That's kind of the nature of it. That's why we need a tuck point. All right, so one of the stamp sets you may have seen me use before is, I love this Choose Happy. You have all sorts of different seasons and celebrations or sentiments that you want to use, and then you have all of this kind of year-round motifs on it. You also get this cute little smiley face that you can put on different things too. So I'm going to be using Choose Happy because again, I don't have the coordinating die set that goes with it, but that doesn't mean that I can't enjoy this bright paper if I just choose another stamp set. Okay, so my ink colors that I'm using today with all of this bright color, I'm going to pull out the Melon Mambo and the Lemon Lime Twist. Alrighty, so here's the Lemon Lime Twist. And from this stamp set, I'm going to use this Sunburst here. Oh, thanks. Oh yeah, absolutely Easter cards. I think so. Sharon's saying like she has the paper, but not the stamp set. So like, yeah, this is a great idea maybe. Okay, so I've got the little Sunburst here. And let me get, my head might get in the road here for just a second, but I'm going to put this on. This is the next smallest, or the second from the smallest shape from the stitched, or the Stylish Shapes dies. So I've got that. And then I'm also going to use that Sunburst on the inside. So before I put that away, because I thought, well, this is fun with the Sunburst because we have, like when I think of the sea, I live in Northeast Indiana, right? So I live in the Midwest. So when I think of seascapes, I'm thinking of vacation. I'm thinking of like warm weather, whether it's an escape from the winter time or a getaway during the, you know, spring or fall. And so that's why I chose the sunshine on it. Okay, so now I'm going to have on here, this says Summer Life. So here's the summer and life. So I thought, you know, I thought that would be fun to send somebody that, you know, I know that we're in the lake country here too. So people that have their homes on a lake or their summer homes, I thought this would be fun. So I'm just stamping this darker colors of the Melon Mambo over the lighter sunshine. And even though the sunshine is not, what in the world is that? There we go. It's so upside down. I'm like, what word is that? So Summer Life. I'll show you this up close. All right, so here's the Summer Life. Isn't that cute? I think it is. All right, and then I'm going to take off this word for now. And on the inside of the card, I'm going to put the little, getting in here. I'm worried about getting dark pink all over my things. There's this cutest little smiley face. I'm going to put that on. There's a little smiley face. Put it on the sun, on the apples, whatever. I got something else in there too. Oh, and then I have the hello. So let me get these off of here. So many sentiments in this cute little Choose Happy. I'll show you a couple of other, I guess I'll call it all-purpose stamps that you might want to have in your collection too. So I'm going to put the little happy sunshine in there and a little hello. Such a happy card to send somebody. All right, I'll show you this up close. Hello. A little bit off track, but that's no big deal. Okay, let's go ahead and we're ready to like finish this card already. Doreen, hello. Happy Thursday to you. All right, got a little gunky on that. That's a little too much right there. If you get that gunk, it means you've kind of, not gunk, but you know, that little blop, you've squeezed too hard on your liquid glue. So again, this layer here is 3 3/4 by 5. That's so cute. We're going to add a little bling to it too. And now I'm going to go ahead and put this down, and I want to put dimensionals on it. Let me get my dimensionals. Dimensionals are Stampin' Up's word for their foam dots. So they're Stampin' Up dimensional foam dots because it adds dimension. That's why they're dimensionals. And then I used the next size up layering stitch circle from the Stylish Shapes in that Coastal Cabana. And before I put the dimensional on here, what we want is we need, I'll call it, it's not really a stopper, but we need a tuck element so that the envelope top stays down. And so I want it so that like they can lift it up, but I also want it that the recipient could tuck it back in, or that I can untuck it and tuck it back in as I, handwrite the stuff on it. So on this one, I'm going to have our little like tuck element here on the right. So I want to put my dimensionals on the right side, leaving the left side of the tuck element open to be able to tuck the flap in. So I'm taking the dimensional backings off. So now I know I have it on the right side, on the back right side of it. And I can kind of see where I might want it. If you get it too far up, it's hard to take the envelope up. So I like to kind of keep it down. Okay. So that's kind of how it looks. Don't worry that it's a little poofy on it. It's just kind of the nature of it because we have this, coming around 2 layers of cardstock. That's why we need a tuck element. Oh, cute. And such a good way of using the designer paper. Okay, so I have, I want to put a little bling on it. Where did my blingy bling go? Here we go. When I show you the other examples, I use this adhesive back shiny sequence on all of them. They just kind of can blend with so many different color palettes. So just like the stamp set, this one might be a good bling pack to have on hand. All right, let me get my take your pick tool. And now, see, this didn't even go with it, but look how this just kind of, it really picks up the colors. So let's add some bling. And it's just something to catch the light. I'm just going to add several on here. Let's see, we'll get some here. I didn't put any on the sentiment because there wasn't a whole lot of room to really do that. But let's see, I've got 1, 2, 3. I'm on this mission of using up my bling. So I tend to do inside and outside. So I like to kind of put 5 on the outside. And then why not have some fun for the inside of it too? Oh, thanks, Doreen. She said fun card. So depending on what colors you want to pick up and come back to, I'm going to kind of introduce the yellow or the orange on here. And let's see, I think I'll do both of them orange. How cute when you open it up and then you've got a little fun bling for the inside too. Most of us have so much bling, right? Let's go ahead and bling up our cards. Okay, that's the card here. Now let me show you, if you want to hang around, I'll show you some other examples of some of the other papers. All right, so these are ones that I did have, like the complete coordinating stamp set too and everything. So you'll notice the same kind of motifs on it, the same stamp sets and things. So here, I just wanted to show that you can put, doesn't matter which side that you put the tuck element. And so I have like the little coordinating flowers here. And this is, so this is part of the stamp set, but I really didn't see I wanted a more generic saying on the inside. So on this one, let's see, which one did I use? Oh, this is part of the suite or the bundle on it, but I use this cute little heart element to just highlight the love. So that's an idea if you have the Choose Happy, and you also have the, why can't I think of the name of this? Anyways, I used it so many times and the name's escaping me. But here you can see I used the green and the yellow sequence from that pack. Too cute on that one. I think so. Here's Darling Ducklings. These are just die cut from the designer paper. And again, this is from the whole suite of products that we have. Here I put the sentiment on the flap. And then I have our little duck images. I have 2 of them for our tuck element. Have a lovely day. did a little stamping and coloring on that. I thought this turned out really cute. I used the dies and everything on that. Like I said, I went a little crazy saying like, well, what else can I use? See how like you have to, though, be careful when you go back to tuck. Oops, I lost a reed. Beep. Have to make sure I get that glued down a little better. And then like, here's another one. Here I've got one tuck element, the sentiment, and then the tuck element. I had something in the background that, you know, that the tuck element sits on, and celebrate. So maybe you've got those scrap pieces of paper that you haven't used yet. Something else to try. And it's great for our 6x6s as well. All right. Let's see. What else did I want to say? Oh, all right. So some ideas besides just using the designer paper, and I didn't do this ahead of time, but I thought this would be so fun to use as kind of like an awards thing. You know how like the Oscars and the Emmys, that they all say, and the Oscar goes to, and then they open it up and there's a big reveal. How fun would this be if you had either a fun family game that you gave out like some fun awards to, or if you had a like maybe you're graduating some kindergartners and like, okay, the next graduate is, and then it's something that you can give them as a little envelope. Maybe you your office workers, you know, maybe someone has a promotion, or your team or something like that that you want to kind of give an award to. I don't know if there's anybody out there that is an Office fan, the comedy show that I am. And you know how they have the Dundies, which is they just kind of make sure everybody has an award about something silly about each person. So you could do that again with your friends group, your family, or whatever, and everybody could have their own little awards. So I think this could be super, super fun to use. All right, let's see. That's it for our fun fold here today. If you have just a second, I will give you a few sneak peeks of my upcoming free to watch Facebook class that's called Lovely Garden Spring Fling Mega Class. It's over on my Create with D page. You click on events and it's free to watch. If you want to get an at-home kit, there's information there. But here's a little sneak peek of some of the cards that we'll be making. It's 8 projects that I will show throughout the day. And it's using the Thankful Garden bundle. We're even going to make a big box to put all of our cards in. So hopefully you can join me at that. Let me turn the camera around and I'll say goodbye. Whoops, let's do this. So if you decide to make this card, please do, you know, my emails and all of my information here. And I would love to see your version of it. If you want to like share your version on Facebook, or like, you know, like share it on Facebook, send me a text, an email, however you normally communicate with me. I'll be happy to share it with the larger audience there. And I'll have these posted on my Facebook and blog page as well. My newsletter will be getting a PDF of the instructions later on, as well as my team. So if you aren't already on my newsletter, I welcome you to subscribe to my newsletter, as well as I invite you to subscribe to my YouTube channel here that you're watching. If there's anything in this video that you'd like, I would really appreciate a thumbs up to this video, a comment, and just let me know what you think. All right, everybody, thanks for watching and happy crafting. Bye-bye.